Behold, nothing you can do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. And my question to you, think about this for a minute. What do you think the thread symbolizes?
God, a relationship to God.
Spirit.
God is the thread.
Relationships. And I think that's it, really. To me, I feel like I've been holding God's hands the whole time with all of this. Even when I didn't know that much about God. I can look back now and see some of the wonderful things that have happened with us and to us and in our moves that we have done in our lives. And I can see that there's been a real steady hand, and I'm very grateful for that. One thing that I would like, maybe Carl can pass this out to each of you, and also before you leave, I'm going to have, you know my words, I'm going to have, and there are no more. I mean, my kiln is in Georgia, my studio is no longer a studio. But I would like you to take, look through these and find a word that speaks to you. And Carl, maybe I'll let you set this out
Will
someplace.
you ever see these again? I have them all over my house.
I just thank you.
So Carl is handing out something that I have given to our AD group, and it's something that, in fact, it's on my Facebook page. So whenever I open my page, this is what I see. And it's so important. And this is wisdom from the internet. It's called Zen Things. So we'll read this all together. Number 1, do one thing at a time. 2,
Do it slowly and deliberately.
3,
Do
do
it
it
completely.
4,
Do less.
5, put
Put space between things.
6,
Develop rituals.
7,
Designate time for certain things.
8,
Devote time to sitting.
9,
Smile and serve others.
10,
Make cleaning and cooking become meditation.
11,
Think about what is necessary.
12,
Live simply.
Wow. That is my philosophy, and this is our life.
Wow.
Yay.
Thank you, Renee.
Take a few questions?
Absolutely. Any questions?
Sure, Berlin. I might have missed it, but Pocatello Motor Lodge, is that where you spent your honeymoon?
Pocatello Motor Lodge? Maybe.
Macarena Carol, Berlin, Macarena Carol sings a song about Pocatello Motor Lodge. So that's
Really? Can you hum a few bars?
I think it was room 23 or something like that. You know, he was kind of down on life, and that's where he wrote that song, Second Wind. That's the title of one of his CDs. Matter of fact, yeah, that's a good CD. If you have to only have one, I'd recommend that.
Any other questions?
Where were you married?
We were married in Boise, Idaho, at St. Michael's
That's right, you
Cathedral.
said that, okay.
And we've gone back as visitors. And in fact, that was 54 years ago. That just is amazing. And it's such a vibrant church. I really like it. If we lived in Boise, that's where I would go.
Have you found a church in Athens?
No, not yet.
Did you ever find out why Blaine was so interested in reserving a place?
We'll let him answer that. What do you think,
It's
dear?
not my eulogy.
Can we fit you in next month before you leave?
I think he'd be good. He's
Yeah.
witty, if nothing else.
Halfway.
Half
So,
witty.
Blaine, I think that Verlin's second husband may be buried next to you.
I'm not Betty Cash, yeah.
Well, thank you for being such a
Verlin,
good audience.
I
Yes.
just want to say thank you so much for being such a part of our church. Carla and I were talking about the reverence that you bring. You know, sometimes we get caught up in doing things, but when you are chalice bearer and the things that you do, you bring such a reverence to it. And that's taught us. And also all the beautiful pottery, the chalices and the candlesticks and all the things that will stay there after you're gone. Thank you so much for adding that beautifulness to our church. Thank you.
The icon
that
The icon.
that you did when we first came, that is so meaningful to our church.
Mhm.
It is just a blessing to all of us and to many people that visit. When I'm there, I try to explain it, but not very well. But they do, it is such a beautiful addition to our church, and it was all done with love.
And you included us all in it, and that was
Yeah.
really awesome. Yeah.
And they're bringing it to us to do our part of it.
Mhm.
I have learned to appreciate these things that you have done for our church as my few years of being there, but I also want to thank you for your talent as an artist to this area too. One of the first pieces of pottery that I ever bought was in Black Mountain and it happened to be yours.
Really? Wow, thank you. Yes, you know, it's amazing. Again, this is part of this long thread of life and the way that I feel like God has wanted us here, right here. There are important things to do right here in the gorge. And so as a result of that, being really, you know, summoning all my courage and taking a few pots up to Seven Sisters Gallery, which in my opinion is one of the nicest galleries in Western North Carolina. And I've been in that gallery now for about 25 years. I am amazed that time has gone by. And every time I go there, my stuff is almost gone. And that amazes me. You know, I kind of walk out going like this. Oh, woo, too much. And also the fact that God has led my work, led me to do my work that is in many, many churches in Western North Carolina. Can't believe it. In fact, I can't even think about it because it's too much.
All of that said, we just love and appreciate you and Blaine so much. But you've also shown your generosity to the Flowering Bridge in so many ways. From the very beginning, she's been a part of that.
And the Lake Lure artists, without Verlin's guidance, I don't know how it would have really grown to what it is today. And you're leaving it hopefully in good hands. Plans are already being made to make sure it continues. It'll be meeting at our church at least once a month. We will have a meeting there. So we're making sure that that doesn't fall apart. And from me to you, I will say that I never ever would have had the courage to show my work to anyone if it had not been for you challenging me and nudging me to do that and to grow. So thank you very much.
My word, have you seen her work? Her paintings of the river are exquisite, and she is selling them like hotcakes. So get your name on the list.
Pretty good plug.
Great.
Percentage.
Well, thank you all, and be sure you kind of paw around in those words and find a word that speaks to you, and then just carry it. It'll never, ever go away. You know that word will never go away. That's how they know about ancient civilizations, is from their clay work. So 10,000 years from now, that little word's gonna be out there someplace.
Thank you.
Thank you.